This is a drachm from Larissa in Thessaly. That's Greece. We're looking 4th century BC here, and on the other side you've got the horse and the foal on the back. So you know what we're talking about as we talk about this. So what I was saying about this coin is that we're going back to 4th century BC. This is before Alexander, before Philip, and in Greece at the time, Larissa was known for its horses. And their coins are always going to have the nymph, Larissa, on the obverse and some depiction of horses on the reverse. This one is particularly scarce because of the baby horse. And so this is particularly in fine style. So I was just giving an example of what fine style is on an ancient Greek coin and why we have that. So you got to bring yourself back in time and imagine the mint production in ancient times. So if there's, let's say, 50 furnaces and you've got 50 teams of guys, and so one guy's holding the crucible and turning the molten, metal, and the other guy's, holding the die steady, and another guy's swinging a hammer on this, and one person's pulling it off to cool, so there's a team of people around each of these furnaces, and we'll have a lot of them in a city that's making coins. And in a separate building off to the side, you've got the die engravers, and those guys are constantly making dies because a die is going to break in the process of this, especially in ancient times. They broke even quicker. And when you've got a really high relief on a coin, real depth to it, that generally means that the metal, when you got it in there, will be squeezed in there. And if you put a little too much metal in there, you'll break your dies. If you put a little too little metal in there, then you won't get all the details and the upper top points of it. So,
what are the dies made of?
So the dies that have been made of a different metal that has a higher melting point. At that point, they could have used, iron, I think, has a higher melting point than gold. So that makes sense for the crucible at the time. Lead is often used for crucibles because lead has a higher melting point. So the mint engravers are constantly making new dies because we have to produce more to fill in all this gap. So what would happen is, with this team of people constantly making dies, that someone would rise above and you'd have artistic abilities beyond that of their peers. And when those pieces got produced, they would, be sent out in the world just like everything else. So those of us that have looked at enough of these ancient coins can recognize when one was produced from a die that was engraved by an exceptional artist and not your run-of-the-mill artist. Not to say that that doesn't take exceptional skill to be a run-of-the-mill die engraver. But there are, as always throughout history, were people that rose above the rest, and the quality of the work stands out. So regardless of the fact that you've got wear and that takes away some detail, you can tell fine style. And this particular piece is of fine style, and it has that.
It's a beautiful coin.